My name is Brian DeLima. I chair the Banyan Drive Redevelopment Agency, and today we had a meeting where we heard presentations from the planning department regarding their opportunities for continued engagement with the community in order to consider possible revisions to the master plan that we had adopted for the Banyan Drive Peninsula. Banyan Drive is a very important economic generator. It is owned essentially by the state of Hawaii. It leases public lands to various condominiums and hotels, and there are a few private landowners that also own parcels that are in the peninsula area. The plan that was adopted by the Redevelopment Agency envisions essentially what exists now with some possible uses for the open public golf course that sits in the peninsula. That golf course presently is leased by one of the hotels, and it is a long-range plan that envisions various uses for the various parcels. But the bottom line is that we need engagement so that the leases in that area that are issued by the Board of Land and Natural Resources to the various leaseholders, the local community can weigh in on what they envision that peninsula to be. So it's a place that tourists will come and visit, that there will be economic activity so that there will be jobs that's created in the area for our local residents, and that our citizens can go and enjoy the amenities of an area that will have restaurants and other activities for the young as well as the old. There are condominiums that exist there that a lot of senior citizens spend their retirement years, and that area is a beautiful place to walk, exercise, and enjoy. So it's a myriad of activity that our citizens can enjoy, but we need to make sure that it's attractive, it doesn't become an eyesore, that old buildings are refurbished or new buildings replace the old buildings, and that takes capital investment. So the Banyan Drive Redevelopment Agency is attempting to get the necessary funds to do the environmental assessments and other economic studies that will generate interest by those people who want to make investment in our community.
With county funding for the fiscal year 2018, the Planning Department did propose a comprehensive budget for the BDHRA to function independently. The Planning Department initially was to support BDHRA efforts for the first year till they were funded enough of functioning by themselves. The budget that we proposed included staff, supplies, and what we identified as the next step, which was the environmental studies to execute or to move forward a master plan for the redevelopment area. However, with the countywide budgetary constraints, right now the funding did not make it through. However, it's worth noting that the funding has to be approved by the council. If there is limited funding, or if the BDHRA agency is able to get some funding, there are actions that are outside of a master plan which can move the BDHRA goals forward.
I came in to see how they're moving forward. What are their plans? I am in particular interest as to what is the time frame that's going to be involved in order for any kind of action to be done on the Banyan Drive Peninsula. Now, as you probably know, in the legislature we had two different types of proposals. One was for the use of HCDA as the governing agency, and one was using a planning committee within DLNR that would be responsible for developing a plan and part of the implementation. So both of those in my mind had different timelines for execution, and I'm still unclear as to what exactly the county's process, how long that would take, and also how long HCDA's process would take to be fully vetted to get to a point where, you know, we can put shovels in the ground.
And that is really commenting on actions within the redevelopment area, even though there's no master plan currently there.
And I also saw in their presentation a statement that there wasn't any state funding or support for, I guess, the county's efforts. You know, really during the whole session, as far as for me, the county never really came to me and said, hey, you know what, we think our plan's the best plan, so therefore we need financial support or we need legislative support to move forward. So, you know, that sort of gave us at the legislature, I think, a cue that the legislature needs to do something, and I think that's why you got so many bills introduced that would have affected Banyan Drive.
Is to determine whether the new planning director and the new administration would want to propose refinements or changes to the... We're really at the infancy of the planning process. We adopted a plan that was proposed by the previous administration. I think it takes time for the new administration to review and refine what was proposed and planned. The bottom line is that nothing's going to happen overnight, and that it takes significant investment of time and energy and resources in order to spend millions and millions of dollars to replace structures that have outlived their useful life.